We're building to the future of AEW. Wheeler, it's time. It's your time now. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Rambling Bout Wrestling podcast. I'm your host, Nick Pearl, and I'm sorry. I apologize for taking a little bit of time off. So this week, have I been watching wrestling? Absolutely. I finally purchased the AEW Grand Slam 2024 tickets, and the card that we're getting just got me so excited. I could not wait any longer. I was waiting for the seats to go down a little bit. I don't think they're getting any cheaper. And if they do, oh well, never missed a Grand Slam. I'm very sad that they're not going to be at Arthur Ashe next year. It is what it is. Let's talk about it. AEW World Champion Bryan Danielson, if he's going to be there, it's not confirmed that he's actually going to be at Grand Slam. He'll be there. They wouldn't announce a match and say it's happening if it wasn't. If this was WWE, then maybe. But AEW don't do that. So Bryan Danielson going up against Nigel frickin' McGuinness. Nigel came out on Dynamite, cut a promo in the ring, saying how, crying Bryan, he's too hurt to have a world title match. But Bryan never said he wasn't going to be there. Moxley said that Bryan wasn't going to be there. So I'm telling you right now that this whole thing going on with Jon Moxley, the Blackpool Combat Club, Bryan Danielson, Darby Allin, Nigel McGuinness, Nigel is going to be involved with the Blackpool Combat Club. It makes perfect sense. You take Bryan out and you bring in his biggest rival ever in Nigel McGuinness. And of course, Nigel's not going to be taking the craziest bumps. Come this match, I could be totally wrong. But if Nigel gets brought into this group, he doesn't need to wrestle every single week. You have other people that could do the heavy lifting. And then you got the conflict of Wheeler Yuta, which, if you guys didn't catch Collision, he cut a crazy promo backstage. I don't think it was on the show. I think it was after the show. Maybe it was just on Twitter. But Wheeler says that when All Out happened, his aunt passed away. Which, Wheeler, my condolences to you. I'm really sorry. I hope you guys are all doing all right, you and your family. But he cut this promo saying how she was suffering, trying to gasp for her last breath. And then he says, when Bryan got the bag put over his head, Wheeler had the same thought. Like, he's looking at his mentor. First he lost his aunt. Now is he going to lose his mentor? They won't show the footage of Moxley putting the bag over Bryan's head. And that's a great move because it adds more intrigue to the seriousness even that happened. But Wheeler Yuta needed some type of character development. He's been out for a really long time. Ring of Honor champion, not Ring of Honor champion. Ring of Honor champion again, not Ring of Honor champion again. He needs a character, and this right here is something that he could sink his teeth into, especially after his performance against Anthony Henry. Henry was beating the hell out of him, then he starts mocking Bryan in front of him. It's like a switch flipped in Wheeler. It's something we've never seen happen to him before. All of a sudden, beats the hell out of Anthony Henry, beats the hell out of Beef, his cousin. I don't know much about this guy, but you look on Twitter, Beef is trending. I'm like, ooh, meaty man. So, good pickup by you, AEW. This guy could be something. But Wheeler Yuta won this match with the cattle mutilation. If anyone's going to start looking like $1 million coming out of this Bryan Danielson full-time career-ending storyline, it's going to be Wheeler. And Wheeler will be the second coming of Bryan Danielson. Mark my words. It's starting now. He's been brought in to the Blackpool Combat Club as their young guy. We're building to the future of AEW. Wheeler, it's time. It's your time now. And expect to have a Bryan versus Wheeler match, too. Wheeler is, like, there hasn't been a young guy like this that, out of nowhere, is put into one of the most intriguing storylines in the company today. Wheeler Yuta is that guy. We know he's a great wrestler. Let's see what he could do with this now. But Bryan versus Nigel. Nigel's just been hating on Bryan for months. Not even months. He's been hating on Bryan for years. And now we're finally getting this matchup? Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Nigel McGuinness cuts a promo with the video package where they want it to seem that he edited the thing together. Because all it is, it's highlights from him and Bryan's old matches. And it's just Nigel hitting all of his big moves and Bryan doing nothing and just getting the crap beat out of him, which is hysterical. I'm sure Bryan, come Grand Slam, is going to beat the absolute hell out of Nigel and get him back for showing that video package. I'm fully expecting, since this is not for the World Championship, Nigel will defeat Bryan Danielson, maybe with a low blow, Blackpool shenanigans, whatever you have you. Bryan will not be walking out of this match as the winner. It will be Nigel McGuinness, leading to another match down the line. Speaking of down the line, you have Darby Allin, who was supposed to be going up against Bryan for the world title. Now Moxley kind of slid in there, adding more intrigue to this whole story. And is Moxley versus Darby now for the number one contendership. This is not their first matchup they've had together. Pretty sure Moxley won the first one. I saw a clip that he did a top rope Death Rider, which looked sick. So I'm expecting that to happen again. Darby, I really think he should win this match, but I don't know what they're doing with Moxley. Bryan could be the type of guy that says, look, I want to put one of my best friends over on my way out as a full-time competitor. He could decide that he wants it to be Moxley. He could say, I want it to be an up-and-comer. Could be Wheeler. Could be Nigel. Could be anybody. That's why there's so much intrigue to this Darby versus Moxley match. It's going to be incredible. All these matches on this card at Grand Slam are going to be excellent. Top of the line, pay-per-view quality matches, especially because it's the last Grand Slam in New York. I'm going to have to keep up my gut here, at least for now. We're going to see what happens on Dynamite this week. I still have Darby Allin getting that future World Championship match against Bryan. We'll see what happens. We also have the winner. Again, every time Ospreay is in the Casino Gauntlet, he wins. Okay? People are going to be looking forward to this match, but I'm looking forward to what happens after. Like, yes, this matchup's going to be nuts. I'm not going to lie to you. With Kyle Fletcher saying there's nobody else he would rather team with, will Mark Davis return, his tag team partner, and get rid of him, exile him from the Don Callis family, and take his spot? And Mark Davis will finally have a chance to prove himself as a singles competitor. But you had Kyle Fletcher prove himself. He's one of the top guys they have right now in up-and-coming talent. Give Mark Davis the chance. Kyle Fletcher, I think he's past the point of being a tag team wrestler. But by all means, I don't mind if they're together. Mark Davis needs a chance to shine now. If he's fully cleared to return to in-ring competition, I would love to see a Mark Davis-Kyle Fletcher feud. Will Ospreay's trying to get out of the family. Kyle Fletcher, he could leave with him. Then down the line, you could bring the United Empire finally back together and see what happens with that. 2 more weeks until Grand Slam. I cannot wait for it. The card's only going to get better. Coming out of the 2 most successful events of the year, in All In and All Out, AEW is the most exciting it's ever been. And a lot of their stories are just getting started. Let's let the anticipation build. I've been your host, Nick Pearl, and I'll catch you on the next one. Let's keep rambling, everybody.